What's good, y'all? I'm about to give you guys my fight week breakdown and prediction of Oscar Valdez versus Shakur Stevenson happening this Saturday on ESPN pay per view. And let's talk about it, man. Good fight. Both top level fighters. Both these guys have been a match that has been talked about amongst the hardcore boxing fans for a while. Especially like Shakur Stevenson. He's been wanting this fight for the longest. And at some points, we thought that we wouldn't be able to get this fight, but um, apparently we did. So it's finally here, man. So let's break it down. I've been studying these guys for a little bit, especially Shakur Stevenson. And I gotta admit, like Shakur Stevenson is one of the most talented fighters that we have right now, aside from guys like Devin Haney. And I'm talking about like the younger fighters, man. Like I'm not going into like the whole Terrence Crawfords or the Errol Spences or the Canelos or anything like that, but I am talking about the generation that we are in right now. So Shakur Stevenson, he's up there. He's definitely up there, man. At least like top five talents in boxing. And when I look at Oscar Valdez, man, I've seen him before, but I don't really see him being the guy in this fight because there's a lot of things he does right, but at the same time, he doesn't take it up to the next level to me, enough for me to actually give him a chance against Shakur Stevenson. And let me explain why. Shakur Stevenson has incredible boxing acumen, man. I've heard many pundits say that he's already understanding like what he is as a fighter, like that he's a boxer. He's not gonna be this guy that's trapped in one identity or the other, man. He's a boxer that will make adjustments. And if he could get you out of there, he will, we just saw that with Jamel Herring, which was his last fight. And I thought that was one of his best performances because he displayed a lot of boxing skill. He displayed sharpness and probably like some of the best accuracy, man, that I've seen in a while from a lot of fighters. And he has incredible hand speed, man, like real incredible hand speed. And the way that he's able to form his combinations, like the way that he's able to work behind the jab and then like go to the body and throw like from the southpaw stance, like he's able to do all of that. That could give a lot of fighters issues, and he's very fast footed, where he steps in and then understands how to step out at the same time. And he was doing that constantly with Jamel Herring. And for this fight, I think the right hook is going to be prevalent in beating somebody like Oscar Valdez, because obviously you got to understand that he's going to use his height and reach. That's the inevitable. But there's going to be certain punches that are going to work for him. And when I see Oscar Valdez like coming in, he's going to be having a lot of issues, man. Like I've been saying that this fight was very easy to predict. And I'm at the point where I don't even need to go too much into a fight week breakdown and prediction. I could just like give my prediction a lot more earlier, than just saving it as one big secret for a fight week. Because this is one of those fights, man. Oscar Valdez, he's a good fighter. He does a lot of things right, and he impressed me with the Miguel Berchelt performance. But Miguel Berchelt doesn't exhibit the athleticism. He doesn't exhibit the acumen of Shakur Stevenson, man. The way that he was getting hit against Oscar Valdez, man, nah. And he was getting hit a lot before that fight, in fights with Mickey Roman, which other ones? Obviously Benito Vargas, even though he knocked him out, but we're still talking about the defense deficiencies that he has. And I think Oscar Valdez was able to capitalize on that, because he has bad defense, whereas Shakur Stevenson has good defense. So what's Oscar going to do when he realizes that he can't hit that very same person, with that very same stature. I think they were kind of the same size. Valdez, I mean, Shakur Stevenson and Miguel Burchell. Well, Stevenson might be a lot more uh, slimmer and a lot more leaner and more athletic, but um, the way that Oscar Valdez like focuses on the left hook, how is he gonna be able to land on Shakur Stevenson like that, man? Because I could see Shakur Stevenson going in and out very quickly, man. Like he's not a dumb fighter where he's just gonna just stand there on the center line and be able to get hit with a left hook like that, man. You're gonna see an Oscar Valdez that you probably saw, like, I don't know, man, like when he fought Scott Quigley, like I think that Shakur Stevenson is gonna take away all of that whole thing with him boxing and like what he learned with Eddie Reynoso, and he's just gonna throw that away. And Oscar Valdez, you're gonna see him like revert back to that state that he was in, like as this very offensive fighter. So either ways, man, I'm expecting a good fight. Valdez might land something and might be able to do some harm to Shakur Stevenson, but I don't see that being prevalent, man. Like that to me is wishful thinking. And that's the best thing that he could do, maybe stun Shakur Stevenson, but that's it. And I see this being like a 9-3, 10-2 type of affair, a fight. And it's going to be very easy for Shakur Stevenson. And don't get me wrong, like Oscar Valdez is a very great fighter. And I've watched him for a while, but at the same time, man, like he makes a lot of mistakes. And he's not, I've always said this, that he's not the guy to beat Shakur Stevenson. The only fighters that could beat Shakur Stevenson, in my opinion, are all the way up there at 135 pounds or even beyond that. And the few fighters that I think could have like a good chance of beating him are guys like Devin Haney, Shakur Stevenson, and obviously if you want to go to 140, you could throw in a couple of other guys, but I'm just looking at the talent that he's already been in there with, like in sparring, and he knows them like from the amateurs and stuff. So yeah, man, I mean, like Shakur Stevenson is going to bring a lot to this fight. He's going to demonstrate that he could actually finesse somebody like Oscar Valdez, break him down to, I don't know, man, like I would say, I don't want to say like it's a unanimous decision, because I think he could potentially stop him. Like everybody's ruling out him stopping Oscar Valdez because he hasn't knocked out anybody coldly like that. And they think that Oscar Valdez has this like granite chin or something like that, or like this incredible punch resistance, I would say. I like calling it punch resistance because I don't like that whole cliche of chin, 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 man. That sounds corny as fuck, I'm not gonna lie, but the punch resistance, man, I think is a little overrated for Oscar Valdez. Like this guy has already had his jaw broken, so imagine what Shakur Stevenson would be doing, if he's landing like constant right hooks on Oscar Valdez's jaw and stuff, so but either ways, man, like I could see Shakur Stevenson dissecting him the whole fight. And Oscar Valdez is going to try to lunge in, like with those left hooks. And Shakur Stevenson is always going to have a counter ready. And the punches to watch out for in this fight for Shakur Stevenson is probably the left uppercut from the southpaw stance, obviously, because he's southpaw, and also the right hook, because the right hook is going to be the one keeping Valdez at bay. Not just the jab, obviously, because he's going to throw a bunch of jabs, but it's going to be the right hook, in my opinion. So either ways, man, I can't wait to see what happens. When you start putting like these fights together against like the top level fighters, you start to really see like who's who, but even though like Oscar Valdez is going to lose, in my opinion, I still think he could come back. Like there's good opponents out there for him that he could still continue, because Shakur Stevenson isn't going to be in the division for that long. So if Oscar makes a good account of himself, or if he could bounce back, he could actually do something in the division once Shakur Stevenson leaves. That depends on if Shakur Stevenson wants to unify, become undisputed, and like kind of follow the steps of Terrence Crawford, one of his peers. So either ways, man, I can't wait to see this fight. It's going to be on pay-per-view. I'm probably actually going to do a live reaction of it. So you guys might want to tune in, like if you guys want to hop on the panel, and if you're one of those guys that I probably trust, or ladies that I probably trust, I'll probably let you on the panel and we could break down the fight, And I'm also probably going to do Katie Taylor versus Amanda Serrano breakdown in my next video. So keep an eye out on that, and appreciate it, y'all. Let me know what y'all think. Who are you picking in this fight? Are you picking Shakur Stevenson, Oscar Valdez? I'd be surprised if somebody is picking Valdez, you know what I mean? Because I just don't see him. Like, even the most hardcore Valdez fans that I've seen are already saying that Shakur Stevenson is just going to beat him, man. Like, they like Oscar Valdez, but they understand that Shakur Stevenson is a very special fighter, man. Like, it's going to take somebody, man, to beat him. Just like how it's going to take somebody to beat a guy like Devin Haney. In my opinion, like, everybody is already saying that Kambosos could probably beat him easily, but I highly disagree with that. But Shakur Stevenson, I think everybody can agree that it's going to take somebody special to beat him, at least. So appreciate it, y'all. And until then, I'm out. Peace.